Well, Broncos Country. Here we are. It's another Tuesday night. That means it is Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue night here on the Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. There is so much to talk about. This last Sunday, the Denver Broncos suffered an absolutely devastating loss at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's devastating only because of how it played out at the very end, not because of how the Denver Broncos performed in that game. That's the first time we've been able to say that in a very long time. So it actually feels pretty good. I know that I've got a lot to talk about. I'm sure you've got a lot to talk about, and I'm so excited to do it with you, Broncos Country. This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network and on the MHRT Network. Let's go!
Smooth, the pins to chew, breaking down plays back to debut. Never pride in every view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights of my heart in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews, celebrating wins and the lies and the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. No orange and blue.
Nothing rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
That is the question. Do I feel lucky? Because that is simply what the Chiefs got to win that game on Sunday. Was pure luck. And my boy, Clint Eastwood, one of the greatest actors of all time, couldn't have said it.
You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
I mean, Jay, it's good to see you, everyone. This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking. You can see, I've got my weapons here today because I'm seething. I'm ready to go to war for the Broncos right now. Joining me, as always, my cousin, my childhood best friend, Jay, the Denver Dreamweaver, whatever you want to call him. Dreamweaver?
Yeah.
Weaver!
What's up,
man?
What's up? I'm definitely, I'm dreaming. I can't believe we lost that game in that fashion. I can't believe the things I've seen on Broncos Twitter since then. There's just been a lot of things I can't believe, to be quite honest, that I have thought I've been in a dream since this weekend. I
can't believe it's not butter.
I mean, that's true. I don't know what it is, some bioengineered something, but it's definitely not
delicious.
Butter. Absolutely.
But no, man, I'm with you 100%. I can't believe we lost it that way. I mean, and now I've been able to go back and watch, like on Sunday post game, I'm sitting there going, they got lucky. He threw his hands up. They're playing my song, The Butterflies Fly Away. No, he and he got a miracle. But the more, going back and watching, absolutely, Alex Forsythe, come on, man. You literally cost us the game. I mean, it single-handedly cost us the game.
Yeah, there's been multiple mixtapes, if you will, out there showing that is not the first time, not even the second or third time that exact thing has happened to him.
Seven, right? 6 or 7.
Yeah.
In the last 3 weeks.
And you know what? Kudos to Dave Tobe, the special teams coach for Kansas City, one of the greats, to point that out and execute that. And that's why they're a very, very solid team all around. So it's very rare a field goal is blocked, let alone the same yardage as an extra point. Just brutal, man.
Emotional damage.
The most irritating thing, looking back on all the replays, in my opinion, is how smug and disrespectful Patrick Mahomes was in his behavior after that, to be quite honest with you. For him to run around a parade like he just won the Super Bowl after limping around all game, acting like he only had one leg to stand on, and then miraculously he just runs like, a 40 time around the field doing laps, and then has the audacity with a shit smirk on his face to go up to Bo Nix and say, "Oh, this is just the first of many, so don't worry." Like, it irks me so bad. I just can't stand to Kermit the Frog.
And that's, here's the thing, and you know this about me, Jay. We've been doing this show for a long time together. I have had a lot of respect over the years for Patrick Mahomes. Lots of respect for his character and for other other parts of parts outside of his actual football, of his play too. Massive respect for his ability.
Yeah,
but I've had great respect for his character on and off the field. And in the last couple of years, I have seen multiple instances now where I'm starting to really go the other way on him. Like, I don't know if he's spending way too much time around his brother, or if his wife is corrupting him, or what. But he
seems to be extremely entitled now. Very entitled and very full of himself. And I get he's got the pedigree to be able to be that way. But you know what? Another star figure that I at least look up to, Mr. Nikola Jokic, wouldn't dare act that way. And he's got more on his resume, in my opinion, than Patrick Mahomes. And
maybe not more, but I would say, NBA to NFL, apples and oranges, they're comparable.
There's plenty of other stars that don't act like that pompous.
But when the Nuggets when the Nuggets win a game by 2 points, and there have been plenty of games where the Nuggets have only won by 2 points in games where they were down by 20 something, at the beginning of the fourth quarter or something like that. You've seen a side of Joker where he'll throw his hands up and he'll cheer because they just won. Have that feel good. But then you'll also see the side of him where he's still sitting down with his players and lecturing, like, what the hell were you thinking? Why were you doing this? Why weren't you over here? Why did you, and that's what Patrick Mahomes should have been doing, because the Kansas City Chiefs, we said it on Sunday, and I stand by this statement. The Kansas City Chiefs did not win that game.
Correct.
The Broncos won that game. They got lucky in the end. Now, granted, okay, maybe I'm taking it down a little bit from the luck side because we've already pointed it out. Alex Forsythe is an obvious weakness on special teams, and they exploited that. So, maybe it's not just luck so much, but still, the odds of it happening so perfectly that he could still, even blowing Alex Forsythe up, the odds of it happening where he could still blow it up enough to get that block are very, very low. So what I'm saying is, even though, they game planned that way, well done on that. There was still a whole lot that had to happen just right to make that block. And so, in my opinion, the Broncos still won that game, and they can't, even though the scoreboard didn't necessarily reflect. So that being said, Patrick Mahomes shouldn't have been running onto the field like he had just won the Super Bowl or been named Emperor of the Universe or whatever. He shouldn't have been doing that. He go ahead, throw your hands up, celebrate, whatever. But show some humility, man. Like, your team played like crap. Not just like crap,
you did.
But your team did not play up to our level that whole game.
Nope.
And yet you're gonna sit here and act like this is the greatest win of your life and that you were solely responsible for it. You were not, by the way.
I believe it's a John Wooden quote, the old UCLA basketball coach, that said it's not about who's the better team, it's about who's the better team longer. And literally, if there's 5 seconds left, the game is still open to be won. And unfortunately, that's what Kansas City does, and they have all year. That's why they're still undefeated, is because they are the better team in a long-term sense in all facets of the game than most NFL teams. And we let go of the rope in one.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
It's true, and it sucks.
It does. It really, it blows, man. It hurts. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We got the Kansas City Chiefs again. Last game of the season, we get them at home. And you know this team is seething right now over that. And by the way, I would not be surprised if after reviewing the film, Sean Payton doesn't bench Alex Forsythe for an entire game. I mean, like they've got to figure something else out special teams wise there, man, because he's now that it's been exploited and now that the Chiefs have shown the entire NFL, you can do this to this guy. Like listen, he's an offensive lineman. That's his job, is to set his feet and block. That is his entire existence. And he seems to do that fine when on offense. So what the hell? Why can't you do that on special teams? It's the same skill set.
It's true. It's true. And I don't know, because honestly, he's played very well offensively in replace of Wattenberg, to the point where there should be question to who should be the starter, in my opinion. This is put this to bed, obviously.
But now we're seeing. But I mean, to have been knocked, not just chipped, but to be knocked on your ass.
Yeah.
7 times in 3 games during place kicks. I mean,
it can't happen.
In the world?
It can't happen.
Like you don't do it. You don't do it when Bo's behind you. So why are you doing it when Will Lutz is behind you? Where is the logic in that? I don't get it, and it's shocking, and it doesn't feel. I don't even know what to say, Jay. It just doesn't compute.
Well, I hate to be that guy, but there is, and Nick Ferguson pointed this out, there is a rule that you can't have more than 6 people on one side of the line of scrimmage, and they clearly had 7. So I'm just saying.
I was looking at that rule, and it's on the line of scrimmage, and the 7th was off the line in the back, and therefore they can get away with it. He's considered off the line.
Like all their tackles on false starts.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. Okay, there were 7 guys on that one side, but only 6 of them were actually on the line of scrimmage. Therefore, by the rule, they were not in the wrong, which kills me to say, because I tried every which way possible to be the conspiracy theorist on this one, to be the one that's I only saw they missed that
from kicking view, not down the line to see who was online or not.
He was in the backfield, and so he's technically not considered on the line, and therefore not outside of the rule. Now, that's not saying anything against Nick Ferguson, who's a former NFL player and a friend of ours. I mean, I love Nick, and we're friends. Nick and I actually talk like weekly. So I'm not trying to take anything away from him, and I maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he did play the game at a professional level that I didn't, but I did notice that, and when I looked at it, I saw what they were saying. Yes, 7 guys, but only 6 were on the line. So
sure, I don't
know. But regardless, the Broncos put together a very complete game in all 3 phases, and it was very encouraging. And if there's one thing we didn't really talk about post game last week, or on Sunday rather, that I'm thinking about now, is that this whole team, not just Bo Nix, but this whole team has shown marked improvement in all 3 phases each week.
Oh yeah.
Up to this point, we have 7 games left. That's 6 games until we meet the Chiefs again. So if we can, we went toe to toe with the Beast, and we very nearly, cast the Beast down. So given 6 more games with some more experience, more progression, I think we can. I think it's not anywhere outside the realm of possibility that at home against the Chiefs in Week 18, we take it to them and we walk away with the dub.
For sure. And, the confidence for Bo Nix has got to be through the roof going into Arrowhead and coming out pretty unscathed. There were a couple hiccups poised here and there, but
poised.
Yeah. I'm so glad that he has progressed the way he has, because this was a opportunity for him to kind of fall on his face. And he didn't. So I'm really happy with what I see out of him. And at the end of the day, I think honestly, that was our biggest objective of the entire season, was to make sure Bo Nix is the guy. And
I'm pretty sure we know now. I
Yeah.
mean, is there any question in your mind, Jay, that Bo is the guy?
Nope, we just need to build around him, but he's definitely the guy.
Absolutely. He is definitely the guy. KB82 popping in saying, "What's up, Jay? Happy Civilians Day and happy belated Veterans Day to that other dude." Hey, Kenny, it's good to see you, buddy. Booker and I were actually messaging back and forth yesterday for Veterans Day because we're both vets, and we had some fun little banter back and forth. So that was fun. And then Kamani Dixon popping in. The refs love Kansas City in Kansas City. You're not wrong, dude.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But I mean, here's the thing: they love the refs love Kansas City everywhere. So I mean, here's hoping that we can not have to be playing the Chiefs and the refs in our home stadium in 7 weeks. But who knows what we'll see, or 8 weeks? I guess it's 8 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we got our bye week coming up. Yeah.
Yep.
We got D-Rock popping in. Sup, guys? Sup, D-Rock? Always. Now that I know, I've seen the picture of Blue here as his profile pic. Every time I see D-Rock, I'm gonna bark. It's D-Rock. So absolutely. I love it. Kenny coming in saying, "Yeah, we will win because we're playing their backups." You know what? I don't care. I want to split with the Chiefs. Bad enough. I don't care who we're playing. As long as we can, that's a divisional win for us. That's a conference win for us. And that's just one more notch in the belt for us making the wild card round. So
yeah, I could care less about a semantic win. We have not been in the playoffs for like 8 years. I'm way like, I'll take an injury win where they're starting quarterbacks out. I'll take we're resting our starters win. Whatever win we can get, I'm taking.
Sure. Now, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and show some love to the sponsor of tonight's show, and that would be, you can find the link in the bio below. That's W.GG for Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. Guys, this stuff is absolutely phenomenal stuff. Dubby comes in a multitude of delicious flavors. Every single cup of Dubby has 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine, but you won't get the jitters or the crash later because Dubby is formulated with no sugar. You heard it right. There is no sugar in Dubby. Dubby has no sugar, no calories, no maltodextrin, no fillers, and no artificial colors. It's made with nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, caffeine that is derived directly from the coffee plant, natural caffeine, and then nootropics and including their own nootropic that they patented called Neurofactor. It keeps you sharp and going throughout your day. But because it has no sugar, you don't get the jitters and you don't get the crash at the end. It's amazing stuff. Jay and I both swear by it. It's what gets my day going. It's what gets Jay's day going. I may or may not have snorted a few lines of it once or twice. It's amazing stuff. So even though the Broncos couldn't get the dub this last Sunday, you can get yourself the dub by jumping on over and getting yourself some Dubby. I'm going to make that dub a little bit sweeter, though, because at the checkout, you're going to punch in code NRWOB10. That's code NRWOB10 will get you 10% off your order. So go get yourself the dub, W.GG.
Yes, sir.
And Jay, would you just mind showing the folks some comfortable stuff, some soft stuff?
Some comfortable stuff. I've got the thing for you. If we have tough losses again, which I don't anticipate, but if you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach once again, grab on to a cuddly toy here, the NRWOB style. We got tons of different varieties, perfect for the kids coming up in the holidays. Different colors, different designs.
Holidays are coming, man. Stocking stuffers.
And really, for a customized stuffy, $20.99 is not too shabbarino for those. I've seen worse. So
I'm pretty sure my kids will find those in their stockings come Christmas morning. I'm just telling you.
Might as well.
So
just one of many random things you can find on the merch store.
In our merch store, which the link for the merch store is also in the bio below. Thank you, Jay.
Absolutely.
Master of merch right there.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, if you're watching this for the first time ever, or you're watching this over on MHRT Network, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network. Like, subscribe, share, and comment on YouTube, X, Facebook. Check out the audio version of our podcast on all your favorite platforms. Also, jump on over to MHRT Network if you're on Orange and Blue. And like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch. Hell, MHRT's even on Instagram. So go check it out, guys. We greatly appreciate it just as much as we appreciate all of you. All right, Jay. So, we're already kind of talking about it. We've already started working our way into it. The theme of today's show, the title of today's show is 5-5. Are the playoffs still a possibility? Now, we hammered this pretty hard. When one of our glorious commenters on the post-game show on Sunday asked us about what we still saw. And so I was like, you know what? Yeah, we talked about it, but I wanted to kind of hammer on it a little bit for this episode is let's talk the rest of the season. We're 5-5, 500. I would not have predicted we were 500.
No, I would not have said that because the wins that we've gotten were, wins that I wouldn't have thought we would have gotten on the road.
Some of them anyway. Yeah, some of them anyway. But the Buccaneers game, I don't think we predicted it as a win. So I mean, we're 500 right now. We're sitting pretty at 500, and we have 7 games left.
Yep.
At the beginning of the season, we predicted on this show a 10-7 season. So, delving into the remaining schedule here, what do we realistically see? Are the playoffs a possibility? Even after this loss to the Chiefs, the Broncos are still the 7th seed for the AFC. So, I mean, yeah.
I was going to say the next 4 games are hypercritical. It is imperative that we take care of business for some of these slam dunk teams that are not going to be trying to win. Once you get to a bottom dweller position in the NFL, there are teams that are actively not trying to win. Any given Sunday, as they say, but like specifically the Browns game, that's going to be a game that we have got to take care of our business. The Colts game is going to be a game we have got to take care of business. And honestly, this Falcons game, is a complete, it can be a complete W, easy win. Kirk Cousins looks good when he's not under pressure. We are the exact team to put pressure on him. We lead the NFL in hurries. So it's set up for us to run away with a victory this Sunday. Well,
and if there's one thing, I mean, Kirk Cousins has been in this league long enough now that we know him. We know what happens, when in certain situations. I mean, think about, new quarterbacks or quarterbacks that haven't seen the field a whole lot or young quarterbacks is that you're still, the world's still trying to figure out who they are. Kirk Cousins has been in this league a long time. And at this point, his mannerisms, his, how his execution, so to speak. So, given that, one thing we know about Kirk Cousins is when under pressure, he makes mistakes. Like he will, he's one of those quarterbacks that if you're putting the pressure on him, you can be very hopeful for interceptions.
Now, and I will say we haven't seen many instances of it, but we have seen versions of this defense that drops into soft zone coverage, and Kirk Cousins will pick us apart like a surgeon if that is what we end up doing on Sunday, because he does know how to read a zone very well. One of the best in the league at that. But if we go toe-to-toe and play our man and, play the defense that we've been rolling out 80% of the time, that should be a slam dunk victory.
Yeah, I agree. Real quickly, Kimani Dixon popped in. He said, Happy Veterans Day to y'all. Thank you, my friend. I had a very good Veterans Day. A lot of vets don't do this, but you know what? I don't see any reason not to, since I can as a veteran. And that's I went out and spent the whole entire day out going restaurant to restaurant eating free food, because on Veterans Day there's a whole slew of restaurants, chains and the like that do special things for veterans on Veterans Day. So I started my day out with a breakfast with a Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's. And I took my wife with me, and I swung through Dunkin' and got a free donut, which I gave to my wife because I'm a diabetic and that's a bad idea. And then I went from there and I ended up grabbing like a breakfast sandwich from Wendy's, which I took home for one of my kids. I went through Little Caesars, got a free pizza, which I gave to another one of my kids, and I went place to place, got a voucher for a free meal at Texas Roadhouse, which is one of my favorite restaurants on the planet. And then I ended the day at O'Charlie's, where I had a delicious chicken tender dinner. And it was a really nice Veterans Day. Met a lot of really cool veterans. I stopped at one of my favorite places in the world. And right now they're still kind of isolated to the south because it started here. But they're definitely they're definitely starting to spread, and it's called Mission Barbecue. Founded by veterans. Some of the best barbecue you'll eat outside of, say, Kansas City, St. Louis. Just phenomenal meat and phenomenal barbecue. And like I said, they're founded by veterans. They're focused on veterans. You can go in there and you can take one of your patches and they'll nail it up on the wall somewhere. And there were, like, when I got there, there was there was this biker gang of Vietnam vets just hanging out in the parking lot, blasting music and revving their Harleys. And there was 3 World War II Willie P. Jeeps parked out there, and I got inside, and there was like 100 veterans from all eras. And we were all just shaking hands and introducing ourselves and bumping fists and trading war stories. And it was a really good Veterans Day. So I appreciate that, Kamani, and thank you very, very much. So, and then Kenny comes in saying there's definitely still questions. I'm not comfortable with quarterbacks until after 3 years.
That's fair to say. That's why I don't buy a rookie jersey. That's why I don't have a Bo Nix jersey quite yet. I will be doing that in the off season. But I do
have that Bo Nix t-shirt though. I do have that Bo Nix t-shirt, and I still have to send you yours.
Oh, that's all good. Sorry.
But I'm with you.
Good.
I understand that thinking, but I'm very, very confident in what we have.
Yeah.
At this point in the Paxton Lynch season, I was like, oh God. At this point in Drew Lock's, after Drew Lock's starts, I was like, man, this is my college quarterback who I was so excited about. Get him out of here.
Well, hey, you should be excited. He's now the starter in New York moving forward for the rest of the year. Daniel Jones got benched today. And he's going to put numbers up. I can't wait for the Drew Lock show to return to the NFL.
I mean, hey, him and I got Malik Neighbors on my fantasy team. So,
that's what I'm saying. Malik Neighbors and him are going to be dynamite.
Let Drew cook.
Let's go.
But I understand that way of thinking, Kenny. D-Rock coming in. So y'all telling me that Bo Nix has the eye of the tiger? I mean,
he does.
I think he does. I definitely think he does. And then Kamani says we got the Falcons, Raiders, and Browns. We should go 8-5 after 13 games. So back to the, that I absolutely agree with Kamani on that one. So let's go back to the Falcons game here. I mean, it's going to be bittersweet in a way. We'll be
last NFC game.
Yeah, last NFC game of the season for us, and it'll be a little bit bittersweet because we'll be, a fan favorite will be returning to the Mile High City in a different color, and that would be a dear friend of this show, former guest on this show, Justin Simmons. It will suck to see him on the field in Denver wearing black and red.
Yeah,
but
he's playing very well too. Of all the things that I've seen out of Atlanta, they have a great secondary. They don't have any press whatsoever, but they do have a good secondary.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I think Bo will still be able to get it done against them.
I would say so.
I mean, he did against the Chiefs secondary, and they have a very good secondary as well. So, but I will say,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Isaiah and I were talking earlier today, and we were talking about Justin Simmons' grand return to Denver, and we were laughing about it. Like, can you imagine what he's feeling right now, seeing the way that this team is progressing? Like, I just got out of here. I was on that team. I was on that team for so many years trying to get us winning seasons, and the year I leave, now you get it figured out. Oh,
Yeah, I can understand that. And his return is just a convenient day that they're going to be honoring the no-fly zone. So the entire no-fly zone will be on sideline for the Denver Broncos, and they'll be honored.
I saw that they said that. However, is it going to be all of them? Every single one?
Yep, all of them.
Akeem Salim, TJ Ward, Chris
Michael
Harris.
Burton, Roby, like the whole crew. And that's, I guess, the first time that the whole crew has been together.
sense. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That would
It
be
is.
cool, man. I mean,
It will.
now as long as Akeem doesn't go snatching anybody's chain, it should be a good time.
Oh.
To see him back
Hey,
on in Denver.
Speaking of that feud, I recently saw, because the Colorado Buffaloes kicked the snot out of Texas Tech over the weekend, Michael Crabtree, who is a Red Raider, Texas Tech, was running his mouth, and I had completely forgot Michael Crabtree existed. And he was, said chain that Talib snatched. So just interesting to see, random people in random places. So kick rocks.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, kick rocks. Which, by the way, I'm loving the CU jersey there. Is that a new one?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got the got to get a Travis.
Travis.
He is him,
Yeah.
the future Heisman winner. I had to pull the trigger on this because he's going to be a legend. This will never fade. So
The only
jersey.
current Buffaloes jersey I have is Shador, but that's fine. I want a Travis Hunter jersey, but right now I'm just not swimming in the dough at the moment, so I can't afford to pull the trigger on another new jersey right now.
Understandable. They're not. Well, I would say they're not going anywhere, but they definitely are going somewhere. But they will always be there in glory. It'll always be a jersey you can buy because it'll be timeless.
I can't wait for the day he's inducted into the Colorado Buffaloes Athletic Hall of Fame. It'll be really cool. D-Rock popping in, saying, if any Bronco fans that watched this game this past Sunday and not persuaded that Bo Nix isn't him, you're lost in the sauce. Dude, I mean, he went toe-to-toe with the reigning Super Bowl MVP and outplayed him. Had a better quarterback rating, had more, had just all around better stats. So, yeah, I mean, I see you right there. Billy Timmons popping in, my buddy. Happy belated Veterans Day to you, my friend. It's good to see you. He says, Roby, really? Yeah, man. Bradley Roby will be back, I guess.
He's not taking a Roby day. He's actually going to come to work. Throwback for all you true Bronco fans. Long memories.
That's right. Kamani Dixon popping in. Go Hurricanes. I with the U.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hey, I like watching Hurricanes games. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I do enjoy watching their games.
So yeah. The U is an interesting university. They're always very rowdy.
Very.
they're always a colorful characters over there. I always enjoy watching their theatrics.
That they are. I feel like the Key and Peele episode of East West Bowl, where the skit with all the names. I feel like all of those guys could be the U.
And they've always been that way for so long. Since back, the Catholics versus convicts and the whole eras of Miami. They've been that way since. Even in the down years, they're still like that. So good for them. I love it.
Always. Yes. Kamani agreeing with D-Rock. Bo is doing great. I believe the second half he will hit his peak. What? I don't want to see. Here's what I'm going to say. I love what you're saying. I don't want to see Bo hit his peak this season. What? I don't want that at all. No, because I believe he's got more room to grow. He's only a rookie, man, and we saw exactly what KB82 said, saying that he doesn't necessarily jump on the train until the quarterback's been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, that those 3 years that he's talking about, those are developmental years. That's when a quarterback is still young and fresh and raw and malleable. And Bo, he still has some growing to do. And if he finishes it all this year, eventually he's going to become irrelevant quick. He could become irrelevant quickly. And I don't want that. I want to see him continue to develop over the next 2-3 seasons.
The only thing I will say to that is there are some advantages of getting some peak going, and if he does peak out here pretty soon, is you'll have the effect that Jaden Daniels had on the trade deadline, which was you had people asking to be traded to Washington, and you have the effect from a free agency standpoint in the offseason where we do have the dough, where we're going to now have to start swaying free agents to come to Denver, and Bo showing out on this second half of the season is going to be a great intro to getting some of that talent in.
I think we've already seen. Here's what I'll say. I agree with you, but I think we've already kind of seen enough. I think now listen, we said it this Sunday. After, like one thing for those that missed our post-game show on Sunday, even though that loss was just an absolute sucker punch to the stomach because of how it happened. Jay, our entire post-game show with Jay and I Jay and I was was pretty much nothing but positive. Yeah, we had a few moments where we were like, ah! But for the most part, it was a very positive post-game show for a loss, which doesn't happen often. So and one of the points that I made on that, Jay, if you recall, was I said that one of the really interesting and very good things coming out of this game is the national media saw this game because everybody watches the Chiefs, everybody, and they watch them like hawks.
Oh, you Swifties!
They saw this, and we, like we've said it over and over, we held the line with them. We went toe to toe with them, and we were this close. I mean, like a pinky fingernail away from winning that game. And they saw that. They saw Bo Nix. They saw him go toe to toe with the reigning Super Bowl MVP and outplay him. They cannot deny us anymore. They can't. I mean, they probably will try, but if they were really honest with themselves, they know what's what now. And other players, they're going to see that too. Agents are going to see that too. And so even though, yeah, you're right, Jay, if he peaks out, it's going to speak volumes to getting, these stars in here and to being able to go in before the trade deadline next season.
Hop on the train.
Go nab a few. But I think we're already going to start seeing that this offseason, because even if he doesn't peak out, they're going to be like, I'm very interested in what they're doing there, and I want to be part of making it happen. If that makes sense.
And this is just another small little tidbit of, at the end of the day, you have a rookie contract for a rookie quarterback. You've got 5 years on that guy. So if you don't get the peak until year 3, that is really cutting into the window of time where you have a controlled salary of a star.
Well, here's how I look at it. We're talking about this. We're talking about this peak, and we're talking, and I was talking about the 3-year thing. I don't want to see him take the full 3 years to peak necessarily, but I want to see him, maybe peak out midway through his second season, but then maintain it through his third.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, because that shows that he's he's comfortable in the NFL. Now he is an NFL star, and then he's got to hold the line. He's got to keep it like that. And not drop the ball, so to speak.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. That is not me, trying to jinx him into fumbling or something.
Hey, I mean, we haven't necessarily seen the complete game out of this team quite yet. In all facets,
we have not.
All coming
Absolutely
together.
No, not even close.
It's
now, granted, could we use some more, star power, some more weapons, some more X factor if you play Madden.
Travis.
We definitely.
Come on, Travis.
Jay, we are not getting Travis Hunter. Come on. He's going to go in the top. He's going to go in the top 5. There's no way we get him.
I know.
The only way we would get him is if you could still do what John Elway did, and he was like, and he comes up with some crazy plan and goes, I'm not playing for the team that drafted me. I'm going to go play for a different sport. And then they're like, okay, well, never mind. We'll trade you so that we can get some value out of you. That's actually, for those that don't know, that John Elway was not drafted by the Denver Broncos. John Elway was drafted by the then Baltimore Colts, and he also had
New York Yankees
to play. Yeah, he also had offers to go play Major League Baseball for the New York Yankees. He did not want to play for the Baltimore Colts. He wanted to play for the Denver Broncos. He knew that, and so he literally said to them, no, I'm not going to play for you. Trade me, or I'm going to go play Major League Baseball. You're going to get nothing out of your draft pick for me, and I'll still make all my money. And the Colts were like, oh no, okay, Denver Broncos. Here's John Elway. Take him.
I will say my revised expectation is low key someone you'll love, which I will give credit to Mr. Boggs out there in the World Wide Web for
our former co-host on the MHRT network.
He's really harping on this. Luther Burden out of Mizzou looks like a fine prospect that I will take
absolutely
all day long in the mid first.
Z-O-U.
Top-notch guy right there.
I
He's the
got
alpha.
I got my 2 college teams. I'm sorry. I've got 2 college teams. The one I grew up with and the one I went to. I grew up a CU Buffs fan and I went to Mizzou. So
But he's
I
the
love
realistic. He could literally be the realistic guy.
If we got Luther Burton, I would be on cloud
Let's
9.
go.
I would be. I mean, I did it live at the draft in 2019 when I jumped up and down and screamed like a girl when we drafted Drew Lock. I would be jumping up and down in my living room and screaming like a little girl if we draft Luther Burton.
Pair him with a second-round tight end. Woo, we're cooking. And I'll yield to Isaiah in his research on tight ends. He's going nuts on a lot of different viewership of the tight end position in the draft. So he'll have, I'm sure, a lot of opinions on that draft or on that.
Well, Isaiah's our draft guy. He does better at draft analysis than anybody else on our network. I do my best, but Isaiah has the one thing that you and I don't have, Jay. And that's no children.
This is true. Time is a great equalizer.
He has the time to sit and deep dive these players. I get that there's some dudes out there that are draft analysts and have kids too. I'm not saying anything against them. However, my wife and my children will not give me that kind of time. So I do my best with what I've got, but Isaiah's definitely our draft guy. Okay. Let me see. Billy Timmons popping back in saying, by the way, talking about jerseys, I have something for you come Saturday. I'll send you a pic, Baki. All right, Billy, I'm really excited about that, man. I can't wait to see it. And I got excited there when you said you have something for me. I was like, oh, well, here, I'll send you my address. But just kidding. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see it. But let's get back to the Falcons game, and we can kind of finish talking that, and then we can move on to the next is the Raiders. Our second battle, the Raiders. After that,
I think so.
I had it up and I closed it. I feel like a fool.
Let me pull that up. I've got the Bengals schedule up. I have the wrong team.
It's the Raiders. I was right. It's the Raiders. After the Falcons, we get the Raiders again. So, back to the Falcons, talking a little bit more. Jay, realistically, what do we see from that game? I mean, the Falcons have a decent offense. It's not top notch. It's not top tier, but they're good. They're a good offense. I feel like our defense, though, me personally, is way up to par to stop that offense.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix and our offense should have a field day. Their offense is good if given time, which we are the number one defense in pressure. So if we stick to our strengths on defense, there is no way the Falcons should have enough time to pick apart our defense surgically like Kirk Cousins does. So I think it should be closer. It should be closer to like the Panthers game, where there's no doubt that we have this sewn up by the third quarter. And hopefully it's a game where Audric Estime can have enough run where we can get him solidified with his bulk carries and we can get him truly established and comfortable as this number one back that Sean Payton sees him as. So it could be an Audric Estime game.
It could be. It could be. I mean, I would be very, very interested to see it. So, all right, defensively, I've already said it. We're up to snuff. Offensively, do we have, how do we rank against their defense, in your opinion? I think that we have a way better, I think we have a better offense than they do all around.
Yeah, they have no pass rush. Their defense is not great.
Well, wait a minute. You know what?
In a pressure sense.
Yeah, defense overall, they're ranked 17th. We're ranked 6th. Now, offensively, I'm going to actually go ahead and take back what I said because I was absolutely wrong, and I am admitting that outright. Right now on PFF, offensively overall, they're ranked 2nd.
They have a very efficient offense, but again, it is only if Kirk Cousins is given time. He is not fully recovered, if he ever will. But he is not mobile whatsoever. He shrinks down in the pocket really quickly. So if given time, I mean, he's a mastermind, and they've got weapons to distribute to. But their biggest weakness on offense comes at a perfect time where that's our biggest strength on defense. So it's a terrible matchup for them.
I mean, dude, I think Kirk Cousins is going to have nightmares with the names Benito, Cooper, and Allen, for the next week following this Sunday's game.
Yeah.
And like right now, just talking about the current spread on that game, the Broncos are actually 1.6 favorites to win the game.
I was kind of surprised by that, to be quite honest, but probably just a toss-up. But
yeah, absolutely, I'm very excited about it. And special teams, the Broncos and the Broncos currently special teams wise are. Oh, I had it up. Hang on, I'm moving it back real quick. The Broncos on special teams, we are currently ranked 7th in the NFL, while the Falcons are currently ranked 25th. So, we should be able to get it done pretty good on special teams against them as well. We have one of the best special teams units in the NFL right now, top 10, which is, a far cry from what we were a few years ago. Thank God.
And honestly, based upon the culture that we are building with young players, I would not be surprised to see Forsyth march right back out there in the exact same position, and there are no personnel changes. We need to show our young guys that will stick with them. And Sean Payton might do that. Sean Payton might do that, but I will say this: if he does give him that faith, if he does put the faith in him and give him that chance. If Forsyth blows it again, he's not returned. He will be benched there. And I promise you'll see another offensive lineman slotted in there in his place. Because if you bench him right now, you might as well release him because his confidence will be so shot that he's going to be worthless.
Maybe
he'll need a new fresh start. That's how devastating that was.
I mean, you definitely here's the hammer. You definitely hit the head on the nail with that one. The head on the nail. The head on the nail with that one. But one thing like I said, he's got this. If he's given that chance, he better do it right. Because if he doesn't, it will be over for him.
Yep.
Sean Payton will not. He'll give you a second chance. He's not going to give you
more chance, bud.
Yeah. So we don't have the soundbite anymore, Jay. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
But anyway. Moving on, so we all call, it seems, a lot of us, at least the comment stream, myself, you, calling it a dub. Kamani is saying, no, please keep him out, please. He's a cancer on special teams. I get that. Hold on. Stay tuned at Chief. We'll be getting to NFL in a bit. That's another show another MHRT show that's going on Twitch right now. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know why we're getting their stream. Is
that the Whiskey Boys?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Which is a great podcast, by the way. I do enjoy they cover a lot of different topics of the NFL, and I do appreciate that about them.
They're good dudes. But no, I see what you're saying, Kamani, but I also see what Jay's saying. And with that, I will agree with my cousin on this one, is that, he does have good potential. He did a very good job on offense while Luke Wattenberg was recovering from injury. And, while, yes, he's a cancer on special teams, or has been, now that has been not only, exposed, but noted by the entire NFL.
Highly publicized.
Yeah. Highly publicized. They're like, his entire week in practice is going to be spent, fixing that problem. That's all they're going to focus on with him, is fixing that. So I agree with you, Jay, give him that last chance. We don't want, because right now he's been benched for Luke Wattenberg. Well, Luke Wattenberg is the starter. He has been all season. He was, Alex Forsyth got his chance to fill in. Yep. But he's his only position to play right now is special teams, and if you take that away now, right after you've benched him on offense as well, you're right. It'll destroy his confidence, and he has too much potential, in my opinion, to destroy that now. So I agree with you there. All right, so Falcons win. Yep. Next, we got the Raiders. This time in Las Vegas.
We shouldn't spend much time on this game because this is going to be, I think,
Well,
probably the easiest win of the season so far.
You're not wrong, cuz I mean
the rest of the games for the rest of the season, that will be the easiest dub.
Yeah, I mean looking at it right now as it stands, well, I guess there's no odds on it right now. I was hoping. But right now, I mean the Raiders are a dumpster fire. And then they have been. And there's no denying that I mean, I was at the game. I was live at the game when we destroyed them, and that's the one I get going on, or the only one I get to go to this season, likely. And we destroyed them, and it was fantastic. And it's not. I don't see any reason to believe that is an anomaly, or that we won't do the same in Las Vegas to them.
Yep.
I mean, what's their overall record right now? 2-7, dude.
Yeah, and they are actively trying to lose. So there's no way.
They're tanking. They're tanking for a high draft pick.
Yep. They're on Shedeur watch.
Oh man, if Shedeur ends up in,
I've already accepted that. That's going to happen.
I'll cry, man. I don't want to see Shedeur go from Colorado to Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
going to happen.
Sick.
Yeah.
Oh. Just throw up my mouth a little bit. Oh, gross. Okay, but I mean, there's really not much to say there.
Yeah. Easy cheesy.
It's going to be a win. The Broncos are going to tear them apart offensively, defensively, and on special teams. It's what it's what's going to happen. So, yeah, there's another dub for you guys. And we predicted. So now based on that analysis, the Broncos are 7-5. So then we move on to the Browns.
These are the two games that I think are the most crucial. You've got at home versus Cleveland, and then right after, you have a bye, and then the next game is the Indianapolis game. But this game in Cleveland, or game at home against Cleveland, is Monday Night Football right now. Prime time in Denver. And Cleveland sneaky good. I know Cleveland has sucked, and they're not good, but
look what they did to Baltimore right before we took on Baltimore. I mean,
yeah, Watson's gone, and he was the problem. Jameis Winston is actually playing a pretty efficient game, and their defense is not bad. So I don't want to see that as a trap game. I don't want to see us fall on our face in prime time on that game. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a tougher game than I think people realize.
It's going to be a tougher game, but I do have thoughts on this. Okay. You said the Browns have a good defense. They do, but the Broncos just took on a top 5 defense, and we're efficient, very efficient. And that being said, we're also talking about the first, as far as I know, the first reunion of Sean Payton with Jameis Winston. Sean Payton knows Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
Sean Payton knows him. True. I mean, look, Sean Payton is the one. Yeah. Sean Payton is the one that turned Jameis Winston into a winner. Because I mean, Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay was a joke. Yeah. And then he goes to New Orleans under the tutelage of our current head coach and becomes maybe not a household name, but a winning, a decent enough quarterback to get
biting those dubs.
Yeah. So Sean Payton knows him very well, knows his play. And, even though he's not the defensive play caller, obviously, we all know that's VJ. But Sean and VJ are going to sit down, and Sean's going to be like, look, when he rolls this way or does this is what to expect. When he does that, I mean, he knows him so well that's going to help us defensively against Jameis Winston, who is a mobile quarterback, and you got to be careful of that. With him. But I still think the Broncos right now are more, even though we're not where we want to be, we're a more put together team than Cleveland is.
Yep.
They do have David Njoku, which, gosh, I wish we could have pulled we could have gotten him. I wish that the Browns had been selling, but they decided not for sale.
Yeah.
So,
not
all right, but I call that a dub as well. I'm gonna pull this up real quick here. Cleveland has the same, or also sporting a 2-7 record. I would, again, no, obviously, PFF is only putting out odds for 1 week out,
Yeah.
at a time, so I can't give you odds on that game.
We'll be favored. We'll be favored in that game, but I think it's going to be a sneaky, closer game than
it needs to be the one where we're not allowing it to become a trap game.
Yep,
we have to be diligent.
The game right before a bye, we just got to take care of business.
Yes, and then we go to the bye week, which we win, by the way. We win the bye week.
Automatic dub on bye.
I mean, it's an it's an obvious dub, but we've already so we agree dub against the Browns.
Yep.
So 3 weeks, we win against the Falcons. We win against the Raiders. We win against the Browns. We're now based on that analysis, we're now 8-5 going into our bye week.
Yep.
And we're saying it, but based on what we're seeing, based on the way the AFC is playing out right now, you can go 9-8 and make it into the playoffs. So we do that. Those 3 games, we're 1 win away. We're potentially 1 win away from the playoffs at that point.
I would say so. I think 9
and
wins
as we're already currently sitting as the 7th seed.
Yeah.
I mean, that feels pretty damn good, cuz.
And I have a feeling we have a potential for not being the 7th seed. Like, I think we could be the 6th seed. We're not going to get 5th seed because it's going to be either Pittsburgh or Baltimore. One of them will win the division. The next one will be 5th seed. But 6th seed is absolutely in play.
Wow, hang on. Whoa. New name in the chat. Here's to New. This is Marmar Nunu.
Marmar Nunu.
Here's to you. Welcome to the Orange and Blue Network. Says, good early morning, Johnny, from Belgium. I still think with our schedule, we make the playoffs. Can't wait for the rematch with the Chiefs. But the burning question of the night, will Johnny get a neighborhood favorite to co-host the neighborhood on Sunday? Man, Marmar Nunu, this is the first, I remember the name from the neighborhood, but this is the first time we've seen Marmar here on Nothing Rhymes. So it's
cute puppy, by the way. Absolutely adorable pup.
Little long-haired dachshund.
Love me some wiener.
And so, this is the first time we've had a fan on this show from Belgium. So that's really awesome. Thank you, Marmar.
Heck yeah.
I am hosting the neighborhood this Sunday. I don't know yet who my co-host is going to be, however. I don't know if it's going to be an MHRT network host or if it's going to be an Orange and Blue Network host. I have reached out to several, including that guy over there.
I'm waiting to hear back from the girlfriend to just see where lines are. I've been traveling a lot, so I got to check my boxes every which way.
Dude, I mean, take the bullwhip back. All right. Hold on for a little bit. When she's in the bathroom, grab your balls out of her purse. Okay. No, I'm just messing with you.
It's true. It's true.
She's a wonderful person. And she has, she's your girlfriend is beautiful, man.
She deals with a lot of my sports fanatic activities here, so she's
you couldn't really be Dreamweaver's girlfriend if you couldn't. So
this is true.
But anyway, I don't know yet, Marmar, who's going to be my co-host, but I promise you, it's going to be a fun show because I have an absolute blast every time I get to host the neighborhood. So. I'm excited about it. So now we've already said now we're moving into the bye week, which we said we win. We can go ahead and move through the bye week, and we are on to the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. This one, I don't know. I'm going to pull it up, but I think this is another trap game that we have to be very careful of. The Colts are another dumpster fire team. Currently sporting a record of 4-6, but they're in a downward spiral.
And that's at home, Johnny. That's at home.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. You're right. My apologies. Against Indianapolis in Denver. So we actually get 3 weeks in a row at home, which is
correct.
Well, 4 if you count the bye week.
4, yeah. So a whole month. Yeah, but from a travel standpoint, to be home for 4 weeks, that's a big deal for this team.
I mean, think about the rest. Think about how much rest they can get. I mean, bye week and you've been home for 4 weeks. I mean, not traveling, not flying anywhere.
That's coinciding with Thanksgiving holiday time frame as well.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Good. I love Thanksgiving. I can't wait. Oh, but they are on a downward spiral. They have not looked good. They've not, a 4-6. 4-6 is a record. I look at their record as their record betrays their play. Kind of like how I look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are undefeated still, but their play is betrayed by their record.
The Colts played a lot better in the beginning of the year than they have recently, and that's why I don't take tons of stock in this game, because I don't think it's going to be I think by that time the Colts will be far enough into the year where they'll know who they are, and they'll probably be back to Richardson by that point, because Flacco's inevitably going to fail, I think, or get hurt.
Well, there's that, but at the same time, Richardson hasn't been a huge eye opener for me.
True. You're right.
He's touted. I mean, the guy is. I went up to Indianapolis about 2 months ago, or about a month and a half ago, rather, and he is like worshipped up there, and I'm like, why? Yeah. The guy has played the guy's played like 7 games for you guys, and he's been subpar that entire time. He barely played any starting snaps in college. Why are you so high on this guy right now?
He got the Madden hype, because if you play with him in Madden, it's off the charts. It's Michael Vick. But in real life, not so much. I don't think he has it between the ears, at least from what I've seen.
His read of the field is
rough,
subpar at best.
Yeah.
He struggles reading. He struggles reading schemes, and his audibles. Have you paid attention to when he audibles?
It's not good. It's bad.
It's not. His audibles, his change of plays don't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? It's like playing. I mean, I love Madden. I'm not great at it. I love it, but I'll be honest. I'm not the best at audibles. If I'm playing when Isaiah and I play, I get killed. Because Isaiah is a master. Isaiah, he sits there and he's like, okay, too high safety, audible, and then boom, tears me apart. I'm not as
everyone
good
can
Anthony
be Peyton
Richardson
Manning at
is
the
me
line
in Madden. Yeah, Anthony Richardson is me in Madden. So I'm not too high on him, but I also think coming off the bye week, coming off a 3-game win streak and then the bye week, our confidence is going to be really, really high. If we get those, when we get those 3 wins, because I'm very confident we get all 3.
Yeah, I would agree.
And therefore, that week, we have to be very careful not to be complacent because we've had a week off, but also not to be overconfident because we're on a 3-game win streak.
Yep.
Because when that happens, especially with young teams like the Broncos are, we see those any given Sunday games happen, and I don't want that. So that's where I'm coming from when I say we got to be careful of this being a trap game.
You're right. You're not wrong. After the bye is always kind of a rough thing, because especially as late of a bye as this is, because it's not like you're going to dramatically change anything after the bye. Whereas sometimes if you have an early bye, you might change your whole offensive scheme if it's not working personnel wise.
Exactly.
Not going to be the case now. It's just purely
too late in the season.
Yep.
Way too late in the season for that. But okay, we agree though. It's another dub.
Yep.
All right. So that now puts us at 9-5.
Correct.
Boom. Right
easy,
there.
Easy, cheesy.
Right. Potential. Such high potential with 3
we need
games
one more
left
win.
to play.
One win, and you're in.
Yeah, 1. And we might not even need that win to get in, but potentially we're in the playoffs at that point. Potentially, a lot of things would have to go right for that, but it could happen. Yep. Reading. So, all right. We move to the next game on the schedule, and that is the return of the Chargers.
Johnny,
and
this
one's
is why
in LA.
This is why I say the 5th or the 6th seed is absolutely in play. The Chargers have it currently. Let me rattle off what the Chargers schedule is here. This week, they play Cincinnati, which is a win-win for us. I don't care who wins that game or loses. It's a W for us because one of those teams is going to lose. Great.
Yeah, one of those teams is going to lose, and one of them is going to get knocked backwards in the in the playoff scheme.
The next game for the Chargers is the Ravens.
Baltimore. Yep.
Easy. Like, they should beat the Chargers. Then they have.
They dismantled us, and they're dismantling just about every team that goes against them right now.
They play then at Atlanta and at Kansas City back to back.
Yeah,
and then they play Tampa Bay, which is really good, and then us. So, like, theoretically, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, maybe 5 losses, like in a row that the Chargers could incur before playing us here in this.
Absolutely.
Matchup. Absolutely. That's a big deal. They could fall out of playoff contention after that stretch.
Yes.
Hard schedule.
So, I mean, it's a very hard schedule for them. They had a pretty soft and easy schedule towards the beginning of the season. Now they're getting into the meat and potatoes of theirs. Our meat and potatoes has been right here in the middle.
Yep.
Of the season. It's some at the beginning, but actually, I would honestly say we really didn't have any. We really don't have. When you look at our schedule, the Broncos schedule, all season long, take the whole season into account. We have not had a meat and potatoes area anywhere in the schedule. It's been very well spread out for us with tough games here, easier games, and tough games and easier games. We've had a very balanced schedule this season.
We lucked out playing the NFC South as well. Not that great of division.
But we also took it to the best in the NFC South, and who at the time,
Tampa Bay,
who at the time had the best offense in the NFL, in week 2, and we whooped them.
Yep,
we smacked them around like they stole something. So Timmons says, I believe we win the second round with the Chiefs. They were shut down in every aspect, minus Hopkins, and not surprisingly, Kelsey. Shut them out. You're gold. I mean, yeah, and we should see. We might see some movement, some changes to the interior, not defensive line, but rather the inside linebackers and stuff in an attempt to shut down Kelsey a little bit better. We'll have a few guys back by that point, I think, that you can maybe make those moves. So who knows? We'll see. Timmons, Burton, and Locke on Kelsey, PS2 on Hopkins. Yes. Yeah. I think you have to. Xavier Worthy is so fast, but I'm also noticing he is getting beat up. Like I watched every game, every Chiefs game for the past 4 weeks. And every game, he is taking a hit somewhere where he is going down and staying down for a minute.
I mean, in press coverage, only a matter of, he's sad.
Yeah. But I will say this: eventually, Xavier Worthy's luck is going to run out, I think, and they're going to lose another weapon in their wide receiver core, and Hopkins is going to be it. Hopkins, at least for the wide receiver core, he's going to be it. And so, we saw. I think we definitely saw a mixture of Riley Moss and PS2 on D-Hop this game. I think you blanket Hopkins given that even if he plays, I mean, we're forgetting too that the Chiefs will already be in the playoffs and very likely with that being their last game of the regular season, sitting a lot of their starters.
I think that will be this might be kind of a hot take, but I think the playoff scenario could be set by that week no matter what. So we could be set in our 6th seed and potentially rest people that week as well. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, even for someone on the bottom of the AFC, because I think... And
I would be okay with that. I just want to beat the Chiefs for Broncos Country pride.
Yeah.
That's
important. It might be a completely meaningless game for both sides.
And Timmons says first game was losses by a short margin. Absolutely. But anyway, going back to our schedule here, LA Chargers. We haven't we talked about the schedules. So it's going to be a very tough one. I mean, they already blew us out. They embarrassed us at home. I don't think that happens again. I don't think Sean. I think every player on this team, Sean Payton is going to be that whole week harping on the fact that I cannot believe we let John Harbaugh walk in here and do to what he did to us with that team.
Yeah.
So, Chief is back in. Chief, who joined us at the post-game show, said,
Oh yeah.
"Block! Chiefs win." Oh, Chief.
It cuts deep, Chief. Cuts
It was
deep.
an unbelievable. It does cut deep, and I will still pound the table that the Broncos outperformed the Chiefs, and ultimately it came down to a single moment, a single 2 seconds that decided that the Chiefs had that game, that the Chiefs won. So
Chief,
I mean, well done, and yeah, Chief said it on Sunday. Payback for Elway and Manning.
Chief, this is for you.
You're a monster.
Yeah. He says, you know how I felt during Peyton and Elway years.
Oh, I'm sure. I can only imagine.
Oh,
We're reaping what we sow.
The Marty Schottenheimer years of coaching for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But anyway, I digress. Back to the Chargers. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be tough.
It is.
It's going to be a very toe-to-toe, neck-and-neck game, I think.
That's going to, I think, determine how big and how important the next game is. It's a tiered thing once you get to the end of the year here. We're not used to this because we have not been in the mix for so many years that week 16s or 17s don't matter for us usually. But these are all now tiered games that, like, the result of one week absolutely influences how big the next week is. The Chargers, like I said, coming into this game will be fighting for their lives because to them, they probably look at their schedule and say, hey, the Broncos, that's like our next winnable game.
Probably.
So it's going to be a brutal stretch for them. And this might be their get right game at home. So it's going to be really tough. I would honestly probably say a loss for us, if I'm being honest.
And I hate to say that, but you and I are on the exact same page. I do not believe that we get swept by the Chiefs this season, and I have held true to that at the beginning. However, as I recall, we predicted getting swept by the Chargers. Maybe not. No, we didn't. But we did. We had predicted that the Broncos would win at home. We had predicted that we'd split and we'd win at home. Well, we lost at home. And unfortunately, we've gotten a few wins that we shouldn't have, or that we shouldn't have, but that we did not predict this season. So looking at that, ultimately, I think you're right. I think that this could be a loss to the Chargers. I don't like predicting it that way, but I think that we see the first time in I don't know how long that the Chargers sweep us.
Yep.
And the answer there for them has been John Harbaugh. I mean,
and I think at that point that will put them right in the discussion with battling Cincinnati for that last spot is where things will shape up. It'll be, I still call them.
I mean, the AFC 3 out of 4 teams in the AFC West have a very strong chance right now of making the playoffs. It's going to be.
I think it'll either be Cincinnati or the Chargers for that last seed. I think.
I love it. I love it. Timmons popping in saying, kind of mirroring something we said earlier in the show. What I love seeing is that the offense and defense is getting better and better every week, and I'm excited about it. Yes, we're seeing progression, and I mentioned that early in the show. I don't think you were on at that time, Timmons. I had said that. What we had seen, we were talking still at that time about this last loss to the Chiefs, and stated that, that we were talking about the potential of winning our next meeting with the Chiefs, and I was talking about the one thing that we hadn't really talked about up to that point is that each and every week we're seeing not only Bo Nix's progression in a positive direction, but a progression in each and every phase of the game from the Broncos, given the fact that they are still progressing every single week in the right direction with 7 weeks left until we meet the Chargers or the Chiefs again. Yep. I see, and with how well we played them in their home stadium, this last week, the potential is very high for us to win that, much higher for me because of that progression. So the ability to continue to progress towards that game. So I agree with you wholehearttly, my friend.
Yep.
So we both say loss to the Chargers. Unfortunately, I don't like that, but it is what it is. So now we're sitting at 9-6.
Yep.
Going on the road to Cincinnati to take on
the
Joe
most important
Burrow.
game of the entire year.
Yes. Which who would have predicted that?
Not I.
Mm-mm.
But I will say, let me back out here, and I want to read off Cincinnati's schedule here. So we had already talked about how this week is Chargers-Bengals, which, again, as I state this schedule here, I think you're going to understand that whoever wins this matchup, this Sunday Night Football, they're going to have the tiebreaker between those two teams. And that might be the difference between these two teams of who gets in the playoffs. But they have the Chargers, then they play the Steelers at home, whom are playing amazing. So that's a very hard game for them.
You know what? Russell Wilson. Kudos. Well done.
Yeah.
He's had the second coming of Russell Wilson now in what we hoped we could see from him here in Denver. We're now we're seeing now in Pittsburgh.
We'll see. All right, we'll see. We also saw this stretch out of Russell last year.
Yeah,
and then he came crashing back down. So let's just wait and see. But they got Pittsburgh. That's a really hard game. Then they play at Dallas, at Tennessee. Those are going to be two pretty easy wins. Dallas is a terrible dumpster fire. So is Tennessee.
Oh, they're falling apart a big way. Dallas is 3-6 right now, dude.
Yeah, god awful. So relatively speaking, those are two very easy wins for them. And then they play at home against Cleveland, which again should be a pretty easy game, relatively speaking, for them if they're in the hunt and they truly are hungry. So I'd say between Cincinnati and the Chargers, Cincinnati has the easier schedule on this back half.
Agreed. I agree. Absolutely.
So that's gonna make this matchup versus us then right after Cleveland for them so important for them, so important for us, because their last game of the year at Pittsburgh. So they still have to play Pittsburgh twice.
Granted. Now you look at their record right now, dude. They're 4-6. So I mean, the path to the playoffs for the Bengals right now is slim in comparison to us.
You're right.
But they have the pretty soft schedule, like you said. So they have the potential to up those numbers. Of course, they haven't been the Bengals that we've gotten used to seeing over the past 3-4, or
their
like
defense
whatever.
Sucks.
But their defense is trash. Yeah. But Jamar Chase is something special, dude. I mean, God, he is a scary good wide receiver. And Joe Burrow, you can't ever count Joe Burrow out.
Yeah.
Granted, he's kind of like I think comparatively he's a lot like Russell Wilson in some ways. He has peaks and valleys when it comes to his game. And I'm all I can really hope because of the talent that he has right now. After this last game, what was this last game for them? It was against the Ravens, and they only lost by 1 point.
They dominated though. Yeah. They should have won that game. Yeah.
He's at a peak. He's at a peak right now. All I can hope for is that he hits a valley by the time it comes to the Broncos game.
Yeah.
Broncos matchup. But I'm gonna go and so I don't know, Jay. That one scares me just a little.
On the road,
it's respectfully, actually, with a respectful amount of fear. That one scares me. So I don't know. What do we think?
I think that's a W because I think that is going to be framed to us that, hey guys, let's win this. Let's get ourselves in the playoffs clinched. That would clinch a playoff spot for us. And then I think we would potentially sit some starters the next game and get a mini bye to gear up because no matter what, we're not hosting a game. We'll be on the road for our first road, playoff game. And I think it'll be incentive for the players of like, this is the end of the year, guys. Let's go. So I would say that's a dub for us, even though it's going to be a really hard game.
Yeah. And see, Billy Timmons is agreeing almost word for word with what I said here. He said, I'm calling 10-7 only because of Burrow and Chase. like that. Those two together, they are a surgeon and a surgical nurse together.
They're great.
They have a shorthand that is very, very impressive. It seems like they read each other's minds very well. So yeah, I want to get on board with a W on this one, Jay.
But I mean, hey, has Jamar Chase seen someone like Patrick Surtain? I don't think so.
No, he hasn't. And in fact, have they ever played each other?
I think they have once. Maybe once.
I think there's been one matchup between the two. But as I recall, Pat Surtain did what he does and made a grade A wide receiver he made Jamar Chase literally invisible.
And if you take Chase out of the game, they got nothing.
No. And Joe Burrow is very smart. Joe Burrow is a very smart quarterback. He reads the field very well. And he's not like one of these. He's not like Patrick Mahomes, where Patrick Mahomes was willing to test PS2 over and over. Which, I mean, I'm going to say this: given PS2's record against Patrick Mahomes, the fact that Patrick Mahomes continuously took the chance on his side of the field this last game, was ballsy. And I mean, it sucks that PS2 didn't get a pick in that, but every time, almost up to this point, every time that PS2 has faced Patrick Mahomes, he's picked him off.
Yeah.
So, but Joe Burrow is going to be a lot more like a lot of these other quarterbacks. Like, I'm not going to throw that way.
It's also very hard to tell too, because you're into the time period of the season where it's TBD on time. All these games could be flexed to prime time. You just never know.
Absolutely. So, okay. You know what? We have to come to a consensus between the two of us if this is a win or loss so that we can move forward with our prediction. So you've made a great argument. I think I made a pretty good argument too, but I'll go ahead and I will concede and I will flip. I will flip to a dub because you brought up PS2 and him eliminating Jamar Chase from the holster, so to speak, of Joe Burrow as a weapon. I think that does give us a better chance of winning. So, I'll be with you. So that puts us right there at what? 11? 10. That's their 10.
That's 10.
Sorry. That's 10 and 6. 10 and 7.
That's 10 and 6.
10 and 6. 10 and 6. Okay. Which leads us to what we've been saying all show. All show about the final bout with the Chiefs, which we've already pretty much all show been saying is a W.
Yeah. I think it really depends on where each team is in the year, but I mean, I think it is a dub.
It is. I think so. Like we've already said it. We already know the Chiefs are going to be clinching the first or second seed.
Probably one. Right?
Probably one, but it could go either way. There's still some time for someone to unseat them, the Bills or the Ravens, to unseat them as the number one. The Bills, really. I don't think the Ravens have a chance at number one. But the Bills do have a chance to knock them out of number one. So, but likely we've already said it. They'll probably sit their starters. And at this point, based on our current analysis and our current predictions, we have also clinched our spot in the playoffs. So that we will likely sit some of our starters as well. Maybe not all, and maybe not the whole game either. I wouldn't. You don't want your premier players, what premier players you have getting rusty either. But sure. I think what really is going to come down to in the final game against the Chiefs is us, is the fans, is Broncos country, because we got to see something very, very impressive out of Bo Nix this week. And that was he walked into the most hostile stadium in the NFL against the loudest, most raucous crowd that exists in professional football. And that rookie showed poise and did not allow the fans to rattle him. So it's going to come down to, can our fans be show up as hard as possible and just be, oh, come on, Broncos country. Let's be loud. Let's be proud. Let's be raucous and disruptive. Let's make them a little bit uncomfortable. They're used to making others uncomfortable. Let's make them uncomfortable.
Man, wouldn't it be wild to come out of this year at 11 wins when the over and under was 5.5?
It would be incredible.
Oh my God.
But it's absolutely possible at this point. Like I said earlier, the title of tonight's show is 5-5. Are the playoffs still a possibility? I think it's more than a possibility. I'm confident enough in this team right now, in what we've seen from them, and in what we've seen from our opponents that we are going to be facing over the next 7 weeks.
Yeah,
I am confident enough in both those things and what I've seen to say I am confident we make the playoffs. I'm not sitting here, chewing my lip, going, "Oh please, oh please, oh please." I am, of course, truly, but I think our chances are a lot greater than any of us would have predicted.
See, but that's the thing. By week 10 in a season, you truly know who teams are and what they are going to be for the year. There's no more outliers of the first couple weeks. Someone pops off, or just small little win streaks. Like, we know who each team is by now, and that's what should make everyone so confident, because we were in week 10 and we did that to the Chiefs. Like, we're right there. We're a good team, guys. That's such a great thing to think about. We're a good team.
We really are a good team. I wouldn't go so far yet to say as we are a great team.
No,
but we are a good team.
We are a good team.
We are a playoff caliber team.
Yeah. And
right now, to anybody in Broncos country who is like, but that's not enough for me. At the beginning of the season, that's what every single one of us was screaming for. Was let's just make the playoffs.
Yep.
If we can make the playoffs, listen. Isaiah and I said this pregame on Sunday. Excuse me, bad crap lungs. If we can make the playoffs with our rookie quarterback, that is our new baseline, guys. Because now we've shown that with our rookie quarterback, and good players, but not necessarily what you'd call cream of the crop, star, go to Madden X Factor players.
Yeah.
We were good enough to make the playoffs. That's our new baseline. And from there, we can grow until we are, like you said it, Jay, build around him, and then we're a great team.
Oh, my God.
I mean, oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's mission accomplished for this whole year. Anyone that would have thought any different, that this would have been a success of a season like what we're seeing, would be, joking themselves before the year started this year. That's why Vegas had us at 5.5. There was not high expectations for this year.
We're already there, and we're already about to break that. So, look, we got this. We can do this. Broncos country, have the faith, have the hope, be super fans, y'all. We know our super fans. We got Bronco Libre, who's now a host here on the Orange and Blue Network, and we had Barrel Man, and we have Mile High Prophet and Mile High Reaper, and Bronknator, and all of these amazing super fans. I'm the Mile High Viking. We love our super fans, but let's all be super fans. Let's have the faith. And I'm going to say it now. I'm going to beg Broncos country, not beg, but I'm going to ask. Please stop screaming for the firing of our coaching staff.
That's nuts.
People
need to get
why?
Realistic.
Are you kidding me? This is the most successful we have been since we won a Super Bowl.
Put the pitchforks away.
Seriously. It's, we lose a few here and there. It happens. We are not in a rebuild, okay? That's what we thought this was. We thought this season was a true rebuild season. It's not. We are building, but we're not. But it's not a rebuild. It's we're remodeling,
restocking.
Yeah, remodeling, restocking, whatever you want to say. Stop screaming for this firing of our coaches. Okay, plain and simple. The one thing that this young team, this is a young team.
Fair.
Average age on this team is in their mid 20s, mid to like mid 20s to 28 years old. This is a young team. Okay, and the one thing that hurts a young team more than anything is lack of continuity. Okay, we saw that year after year, coaching staff after coaching staff after coaching staff. They could never get any traction because they had nothing to build on. Okay, we have a foundation now. We have to build on it. Stop screaming. Put the torches away. Frankenstein's monster is not going to fight you. Okay, put the pitchforks and the torches away. We are building on a foundation of success.
We've got a season coming up here where we're going to have full draft stock, and we don't have a general manager that's going to waste a third-round draft pick on Carlos Henderson.
Nope.
We have to think about where we've been and to where we are.
Carlos Henderson. I even forgot he was a thing.
Yeah, dude, he was a thing for a cup of coffee. I think he's selling insurance now. Like, we're so much better organizationally. We have the richest owner in the NFL. We have a GM that is respected in all quarters of the NFL. We have one of the greatest offensive mind head coaches in National Football League history. Like, we are set up for long-term success. Finally, it's been a struggle, but we're here, and we should relish it.
And we're seeing success in a season that we didn't predict we could have really seen success in.
Yeah,
with a rookie quarterback. So let's put it down. So let's build up and be supportive. Not doomsdayers and naysayers. We are in a good place.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Stay there. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate each and every member of Broncos Country, truly, because I know that you bleed orange and blue just like me, just like Jay, just like every single host on this network and on MHRT network. We're on both networks, and I know that you bleed as much orange and blue as we do. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope that we can all just, okay, I'm getting political for a second. Oh my gosh. Oh, what I want, this is one of my only political statements I will make, because I refuse. I try not to get political on this show, whether you like it or hate it. With our election and the results of that election, we need America as a country.
Unified.
We need to unify and come together and support whoever's in office so that we can be successful. The same goes right now for our team that we love, the Denver Broncos. We need to come together as a fan base and stand behind them and be supportive, because they have now poured the concrete. They laid the rebar. They've poured the concrete. There is a foundation of success, and now they're starting to put up, the framing and the drywall. Let's help them. Let's be the Denver Broncos Habitat for Humanity and go assist in that build and go assist them in building on top of that foundation.
Donate your good vibes.
Yes. Yes, indeed. And with that, guys, this has been an absolutely electric and fun Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue here on Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. If you have not already, please jump on over to Orange and Blue Network on YouTube, X, Facebook, and check out the audio version of our podcasts on all your favorite platforms. And then if you're on Orange and Blue Network, please jump over to MHRT Network. Like, subscribe, share, comment on YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, even on Instagram. We love you. Show us the love too, please. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. Well, don't forget to tune in for tomorrow night's Orange and Blue Network show, Broncos Talk, hosted by the 6'10" Mexican Adon Diaz. And then, of course, we do also have our pregame show, the Get Bucked Game Day show. I will be hosting The Neighborhood on both networks this week, which will be fun. And then the postgame show, the Buck Your Feelings postgame show, hosted by that guy over there. It's a lot of fun. It will be a full Orange and Blue Network game day takeover this week. So get ready for that. I do have some exciting news regarding the upcoming entirely in Spanish show, Viva los Broncos, which I'm going to pop it up there. Boom! There's the logo. It's going to be amazing. Look at it. I mean, it's so pretty. It just draws you in.
A work of art.
Yeah, I worked my butt off on it, by the way. But Viva los Broncos will officially premiere not this Friday, but next Friday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time on both Orange and Blue Network and on MHRT Network. So if you have friends, if you have family who are fluent in Spanish or speak Spanish as their first language, or whoever just wants to tune in and try to maybe you're like me and you speak some basic words of Spanish, but you really want to get better at it. Tune in, check out Viva los Broncos, hosted by a 6'10" Mexican, and I love it, Jay. Hosted by a 6'10" Mexican, Adon Diaz, and the one, the only, soon to be Denver Broncos Fan of the Year, Bronco Libre. It's going to be a good time, guys. So that's my exciting news on that front. We appreciate you guys joining us tonight, being here with us. We will see you tomorrow night for Broncos Talk and this weekend for the Orange and Blue Network Game Day Takeover. With that said, we're going to give you one last mile-high salute, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Go Broncos! Good night, Broncos Country.
Travis for Heisman.
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Hit play, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes.